Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order on Tuesday, September 9th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. Roll call, Stephanie Rivers.
Present.
Frank Kabinski.
Present.
Maria Torres.
Present.
Carla Dela Cruz Davila.
Present.
Martina Shea.
Present.
Norma Tisnick.
Present.
And Brittany Davison, present. Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, review and approve minutes from the August meeting.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Page 3 at the bottom. I believe when I asked interim receiver Mr. Metzger in regards to the Massachusetts standard, when he answered, he was answering me back in a question. However, in the meeting minutes, it shows up as a statement. Can we correct that back to a question?
Yes, thank you.
Do you see it? It will bring us in line with like our performances across Massachusetts. Should be read as a question. Yeah.
Yep. Any other corrections?
I have one. On page 2, it was a question regarding the budget for the teacher hiring. How, where are the funds allocated when staffing are hired? And it was when staffing are not hired, when that position isn't filled. So, or when not.
Okay. Any other corrections? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes once corrected? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 4, Citizens Forum. If there's anybody from the public that would like to come up and make a comment. Okay. Moving on to item number 5, Interim Receiver Superintendent announcements.
Good evening, Madam Chair, and through you to the members. Before I begin my presentation, I do have one announcement. I just want to remind our middle school families that the open house is tomorrow night from 4 to 6:30. 4:30 to 6. I don't want to get in trouble. It's a great opportunity to come in, meet your children's teachers, meet the building-based administrators and other support staff, and to learn about ways that you can become more involved in the school system. We welcome all families to come in tomorrow night and meet their children's teachers. Another announcement I wanted to make is I do apologize to the chair for being unable to make last night's town council meeting. With 4 school-age children of my own that go to 4 schools, I think it's inevitable that we catch something at the beginning of the year, as seems to be the case in the Metzger house. I haven't heard the transcript of the meeting, but I do understand my sentiments were passed along, and I just want to state to the committee and to the public that the chair, the vice chair, and all the members, I'm enjoying our collaboration together, and I don't want anybody making connections that don't exist. I fully support the work of the committee and of you in particular.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to, as discussed and promised, provide you all with an update about the opening of the school year, and I'm going to do so. Wanted to break down some numbers for you. As you can see, that is our current enrollment at each of the school buildings. I wanted to take some time to talk about this both right now and at the end of the presentation. So this graph represents our new families registering in the school district, which from early April to early September is, I believe, 183 new families have registered to enroll their children in the school district. Point of clarification, each month is broken down by an early and a late period. The line of demarcation there is the 15th of the month, regardless if the month has 30 or 31 days. And so you can see from August 15th till now, 75 families have registered their students for the school district, which is incredible. I would say, you know, as I'm taking a look at like systems and structures and how we can improve things, something that I think we need to take a look at is how we are reaching out to families. I would love for people to come in and engage in the enrollment process earlier than the end of August, right as we're getting ready for school. It presents challenges, ones that we can't not overcome. But, you know, when you're talking about scheduling and resource allocation and then taking into consideration special education and other factors, you know, if the earlier we have this information, the more effectively we can plan to make sure that all students are receiving the services and the personnel in their classrooms that they need. I do want to give a shout out to Marlene Santiago, who joined our Family Resource Center within the last year. I don't have the exact date in front of me. All reports from the principals to families that meet with her is she is doing phenomenally well in the role and is creating a great first impression, first touch for the school system with our families. So, Marlene, I hope this message gets to you. We appreciate very much the work that you are doing. We did, as discussed in the August meeting, we kicked off the New Teacher Institute. We had 33 new educators. I'm using that as an umbrella term to cover teachers, school counselors, nurses, BCBAs, to take part in our 2-week New Teacher Institute, approximately 60 hours, a combination of professional development and other supports to, again, make sure that we are setting up our new educators for success, particularly in the first 6 weeks of school, which is, you know, absolutely critical. A message I had for them when we met in late August, and I believe I shared with the committee the last time, is being a first-year teacher is very hard. It can be overwhelming, and we want the teachers to make sure that we understand and support them in that work. And I think that message was very successfully conveyed, and we're very excited to see what this year's crop of new educators does for our kids. I asked each of the principals to provide what they viewed as updates, so I'm going to share what they discussed with me. Start at Eastford Road at the beginning. Very excited to welcome back all families. I went to the open house. I've been to all the open houses so far. The elementary open houses have been phenomenally well attended. Very full buildings with students, families, and our educators, of course. We have some of our, community partners there making families aware of the supports that they have. We make sure that all kids have the school supplies they need to begin the year successfully. And actually, we've begun a great conversation with the vice chair and her organization, Wellstorm, about how we can better coordinate in upcoming school years and with upcoming events to make sure that we are getting adequate supplies in the hands of all of our learners. We really appreciate the families that attended the kindergarten orientation to learn about the services we provide. We appreciate that partnership. Outreach to families is something that is very important to me and something we will continue to focus on over the course of the school year and really moving forward. Attendance has been a big story in the district so far this year. I understand it's early, but we're excited and we celebrate the things worth celebrating. So our attendance rate at the Early Ed Center is 95% so far, which is terrific. And, you know, it's, I guess not everybody in the public can do this like I can, but when you're having a bad day, go to the kindergarten and the first grade. They will turn your day around in a very big way. And I know Principal Galino and her staff are really looking forward to the Snow Cone Social on the evening of the 17th. I hope to see some of you guys there. First snow cone's on me. From the Charlton Street School, Principal Ladonde and Vice Principal Lundberg have reviewed all their safety protocols and successfully conducted drills in the first 3 days of the school year, including fire drills and, you know, student safety drills. Have set very clear expectations for teaching and learning. We're very excited to have Dr. Ladonde back for his second year and Dr. Lundberg in her new role coming from a district curriculum coaching position in the Springfield Public Schools. You know, really focusing in these first couple of weeks on a positive classroom climate and creating enthusiasm for learning. And for the first time in, I believe, 9 years, you know, a group of educators have gotten together of their own volition and have formed a new family engagement committee, again, with a focus on drawing in our families. I mean, there's a lot of data that shows kids are the most successful when there are strong school-to-home partnerships. Updates from West Street School. Again, working very hard in the elementary grades to establish or remind some of our friends about what the academic and social expectations are at the beginning of each new school year. Through a great partnership with Town Manager Jovan, we were finally able to get the elevators up and running at West Street School. Very excited about that. We, over the summer, put in a book vending machine at West Street School, similar to the one that's been at Eastford Road. You can imagine that that's a very big hit with the students. Daily attendance, again, 94.7%, early but worth celebrating. And something we started this year both at Charlton Street and West Street, and I guess in fairness, I could have added this to the talking points. At Charlton Street, we've departmentalized the 5th grade. So we, you know, have the 5th graders follow a schedule that more closely mirrors what their experience will be in middle and high school. And instead of having each classroom teacher responsible for delivering every piece of the grade 5 curriculum, we were having them specialize science, math, English, etc. We weren't sure when we were thinking about proposing this if we would meet, I don't want to say resistance, but any objections, I guess, from, you know, the current teachers. The union has been great. The teachers on the 5th grade teams have been great. Everybody understands that this is what's best for kids, and I would say it's an experiment that's going extremely well so far, and I'm excited to see how it translates into results over the course of this and subsequent school years. And a big shout out to the elementary teams for proposing it, honestly. From the middle school, teachers were thrilled that the summer reading assignments were completed with fidelity and turned in. Already digging into some standard-based assessments and seeing what the benchmark is for improvement over the course of the school year. In social studies and science, they're engaging this inquiry-based learning, really student-driven, right? Where they generate their own questions, analyze phenomenon and sources, and really forming their own opinions and communicating their own opinions to one another and to their teacher, all in a, you know, quest to make them responsible and active world citizens that are able to think critically on their own. Our dual language program continues growing with a very healthy cohort in grade 6. And we, you know, as I dive into the data and learning more about all facets of the school system, I think the dual language program, the ceiling will be very high there. A challenge that we're currently faced with is a lot of our dual language students end up choicing out after grade 8, which is something we really have to take a look at in terms of building and sustaining internal capacity. But we're very encouraged by the work that the teachers and the administrators connected specifically to the dual language program are engaging in. From the high school, and when I was up here before watching the end of your meeting with the town manager, you saw I excused myself. I was actually on the phone with the director of the early college program at Quinsigamond Community College. The program is off to a very robust and successful start. We currently have the maximum number of students that we're able to enrolled in each of the 3 classes that we are running. And like I said, I was at the high school open house with Assistant Superintendent Maisonette right before this, and we heard a great story from some of the early college staff where they ran into a kid this evening who was coming in for a QCC class that had been in the early college program last year in the high school. And, they got the hooks in. They're continuing their education with Quinsigamond, which I think is a home run. Student council voting is about to launch. I've been in discussions with the chair and the vice chair, and I'm happy to report by the time we meet again next month, we should have a student representative elected to sit with the committee. I thank you for your leadership on that. And the student council is actively engaged in a couple of events planning. The always very popular homecoming dance, and I can't remember if it's on the 17th also or September 21st, but Principal Doucette and I just agreed on having like a senior sunrise event, which will be very early. If any of you would like to join me and want details, I'll be happy to send them out. We can meet at about 6 o'clock at the high school on an upcoming September morning. But if you Assistant Superintendent Maisonette and I were walking around the buildings the first couple of days, and it really, and I mean, again, this was from the early ed center all the way up through the high school. You're walking around, and if you didn't know it was the first couple of days of school, you would think like they're in October or November. Like the kids are in their routines, the teachers are killing it, like the halls are clear. There is learning going on. I'm just so proud of the work that everybody's done to get us to this point. Something that I should have begun the presentation with too is just a recognition of all of the people that are not an administrator or a teacher that go into getting a school year off the ground. The facilities and maintenance crew did a fantastic job over the summer getting the buildings ready on very short notice. I think we often and rightly so think primarily about the kids and how we cover the kids' needs. I will say that the crew worked just kind of through chance on the shortest schedule they've had in recent memory to turn around the buildings while also hosting programming in each of them throughout the summer, and did a phenomenal job. The front office, administrative support staff, the food services people coming in and making sure that we are up and running to get kids nutritious meals throughout the school day. It's truly a team effort, and it takes all parts of the team, and I appreciate all parts of the team, and just wanted to give them some public recognition from the podium this evening. Some lessons learned, right? Because we can and should always have a view towards improvement. As I mentioned earlier, I would like to put some time and energy into strategizing about how we can outreach to families, particularly of young students coming into the school system for the first time, to enroll as early as possible. Again, that is all about making sure that on day one we have the supports in place that families need. It becomes increasingly challenging the closer you get to the start of school to start introducing changes into the things that need to happen. We do it, we roll with it, but I think there's a way we could be more effective and efficient. Improved communication process around transportation for students in the elementary schools. We had a couple of incidents, and again, there are only a handful, but that being said, I'm a parent too, and I wouldn't want to just be told, well, there's only a handful, you just happen to be one of them. We had a few glitches in elementary transportation the first couple days of school, which I know the committee is aware of. I would point to two contributing factors, I think. One, we did have an employee leave midsummer that, I just don't think, we don't know what we don't know sometimes. And it became clear that in some cases, not all, loops just weren't closed prior to the employee leaving. The other thing is, we learned about assumptions and being clear with language, right? So as you may or may not be aware, at the early elementary school, there are no walkers. You're either pickup or you are, driven by the school bus. And when I was talking with some of the affected families and some of the people involved, it became clear that there was a disconnect, particularly in ed plans, about what no changes to transportation mean. Well, when you're going from one building where there's one set of transportation policies to another building where there is a different set of transportation policies, no change actually can be a change. And it's something that we're very cognizant of. And I have reached out personally to the affected families. And I know that their situations have been resolved, but we resolve to do better for all of our kiddos. We could really use some folks that speak Haitian Creole. We're finding that there is an increasing population of students coming into the district and families where that is their primary language. While we do have translation services, that can take time sometimes. I would love to find somebody that we could have in at least on a part-time basis to address some of the communication issues that come up as a result of that. And again, continue to work on community outreach efforts. That'll be something that we never stop doing. Again, the data is clear. Students are the most successful when there is a strong connection between home and school. So I'll use that as another opportunity to plug tomorrow night's open house. It will be the last one of the schools in the district for this fall, and I really hope to see our families there. Questions I could answer for the committee?
Member Rivers?
Through you, Chairwoman. In regards to QCC courses, early credit courses for students.
Sure.
I know Governor Healy, when she passed the legislation for this program in the Southbridge Public School System, it was worded as students. And so my question is, why are homeschooled students not allowed to partake in these early course credits from QCC, as well as students on-site? Why are they being excluded, the homeschool students, from being able to participate?
My honest answer to your question is I'm not personally aware of any situations where students were excluded. I will tell you a rule of thumb when you are dealing with the homeschool population is we make accommodation where we can. I'm guessing that maybe it's connected to that there's caps on enrollment in the courses, but I'm unsure specifically. I'm gonna have to get back to you.
Could we get more information as to why that is so, and if there can be some sort of a look into the high school students that are being homeschooled and allowing them to be offered the same opportunity as well for those early course credits from QCC?
I can certainly look into it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Metzger.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Item number 7, Chairwoman's announcements. In November, we have the MASC conference. 6 of the 7 members are attending, which is really exciting. I think it's the first time in quite a few years that we've had a lot of members attend. And we're thankful to MASC for paying for 3 of our members to go. Right before this meeting tonight, we completed parliamentary training. So we want to thank Town Manager John Jovan for coming and doing that training for us. And then last night, Vice Chair Carla and I were at the Town Council meeting. Members Rivers and Shay were with us in support, where we gave a presentation on an update for phase 2 of our DESI plan, which we are working through. We look forward to meeting with the commissioner and hopefully moving on to phase 3 soon. Item number 8, discussion of progress toward meeting DESI plan expectations to build school committee capacity. We'll start with you, Member Rivers.
Thank you, Chairwoman. What am I working on? So, on Thursday, September 11th, 2025, I will be making lasagna, salad, and garlic bread for the Southbridge High School football team and staff, and delivering these items to 132 Torrey Road for Coach McGinnis.
That's awesome.
I signed up for the meal plan. On Saturday, October 4th, 2025, I will be attending the course training at Tri-Valley Regional Vocational School in Franklin, Massachusetts. November 12th through the 14th, I will be attending Massachusetts Associate of School Committees MASC conference. I'm also working with administration office to coordinate to begin touring each school, and hopefully soon that will begin shortly. And also, I have been updating from each elementary school on a weekly basis on my school committee member Facebook page for each elementary school for their progress each week and what their highlights are. So I've been sharing that as well to my school committee Facebook page as well, out to the community. And hopefully from that, it will be able to, my hope is to engage the community more, to become more familiar with each elementary school's progress and updates, and should they have any questions, and also try to engage them as well to come to the meetings. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Kabinski?
Yes, had a meeting with our superintendent over the phone a short time ago, not long, maybe half hour. And one of the topics was the one I'd discussed with these members here earlier, and that had to do with the continual visiting of schools. And I guess there was perhaps an impression that that was needed to be performed yearly. Superintendent confirmed that it does not, and he would not look upon that as members not complying with DESI's plans. So for me, part of those things are important. It's time off from work, unpaid, volunteer. So if it had, maybe my choice would be different, maybe it wouldn't, but I've made, over the past 2 years, visited all the schools. So just for your information. There was one other point that I had, that we discussed. I was curious, I didn't know if any incidences had occurred in our system, and that had to do with the recent Supreme Court decision of Muhammad versus Taylor. Says it allowed parents to opt their children out of instruction, particularly lessons involving LGBTQ-themed materials, if it conflicts with their sincerely held religious beliefs. And I asked the superintendent, he's not aware of anything that has taken place that required any intervention or participation by the school to this point. And one of the reasons I brought that up was because one of the newsletters we got from MASC seemed to me like there was a tentative response to this decision. And I just wanted to reinforce the fact that the decision needs to be followed. It's not up to the school committee or the education department to make that decision on the ground, rather. I can see where perhaps there could be some reasons why you might say you couldn't follow it, but to me, you're aware of what's going on. The ball's in your court. You need to comply. I don't care if there's a space for them. I don't care what what the reason is. This is extremely clear and very important to a lot of people. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Torres?
Thank you, Chairwoman, through you. I attended the open house for West Street Elementary. It was great to see existing staff and teachers, as well as meet new staff and new teachers. It was really nice, and looking forward to the new year. One of the highlights was the book vending machine. I thought that was fabulous. And will be great for, students to get books and stuff, which is really important. And I look forward to going to Eastford's open house as well. But so far, that was it for this time.
Thank you. Member Chisnick?
Hi. So I've been a little busy, trying to stay busy. I have did some community engagement back on the 16th of August, which was through the Storm Back to School event. I thought that was an amazing outcome. I also have an upcoming community engagement with the free resource fair this coming Friday from 4 to 6 at Henry Street. Hope to see everyone there. I also will do my best to join the snow cone event on the 17th. I have been able to sit in on some MASC trainings. One of them was on the 20th of August, which was the round table luncheon, and it was pretty much discussing how to apply what we already learned through, our charting the course training. And, though the charting the course, has a lot of information, this discussion was how to apply it, such as town manager had spoken, how to stay quiet when being criticized, and, the outcomes of just staying silent. So that was a good training. I do have a few more trainings coming up for the 12th of September. Looks like I'm pretty busy this Friday. I have a training for Equality 101 and an open law meeting at 12. These may be some redundant trainings, but I like to learn and stay fresh and be accurate when speaking and confronting, either my colleague committee members or just speaking and advocating for the community and the students. So, and I am signed up for the conference in November. That's it.
Thank you. Member Shea?
I'm looking forward to this school year. At the end of last year, I attended one of the schools on our school viewing, and instead of just kind of wandering around the school, I focused in on reading, because for me that's my specialty. This year I would like to focus in on library, because that's my other area of expertise, and hearing that there's a book machine added extreme joy to my life. I know that our libraries need all the help they can get, and I'm planning on this year going to instead of just doing the school, I'd like to do the library, because I know the librarians are doing both technology and the library, so I'd like to see how that's working in the different schools. So that's my plan, and I am going to MASC, and that'll be fun.
Thank you. Vice Chair Carla?
Through you, Madam Chair. I attended the Parent Advisory Board on August 13th. I've been doing the biweekly check-ins with Juan and Madam Chair. Also monthly meetings with the superintendent. I did reach out to Linda so we could start, I want to visit schools, so I'm waiting on getting those dates so I could start visiting the schools again. And then, let's see. Also, the Wellstorm's having an upcoming event for all families. It's going to be at the Southbridge Community Center on 10/18 from 4:30 to 8:30. They will have like food and beverages and free clothing, limited amount of like costume for kids, a costume contest, of course, some candy. It is a fundraiser, but it's like for a family of four, $20 to get in, and we'll be offering a lot of free services. So I wanted to make sure that families are aware of that so they could come and have some fun.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be going to the conference.
Thank you. I also met with Juan, and I also had a meeting with Mr. Metzger where we discussed the student rep, as well as beginning our policy subcommittee. So I'm excited for us to move forward with that. All members were asked to email me interest, and then that's something that we'll discuss in the future to get that moving forward. I will also be attending the conference in November, and even though it may not be required to visit the schools, I encourage all members to continue to do so if you have the time, to continue to learn and see as things are progressing and as we're building capacity to be able to move forward. Item number 9, next scheduled meeting will be October 14th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.